let's talk about like some famous examples. So we already mentioned Bigfoot. We already mentioned Yeti, right? Those ones are some of the biggest ones. I mentioned Loch Ness Monster briefly. Uh, but if you look everywhere, there's basically every single small town anywhere in the world has some kind of like local lore about some mythological creature that lives there or nearby or something like that. And I think that that's lovely, and I love finding out about these things. So here locally in Tacoma, there's the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, and it's a very deep place. And there is a local legend of what they call the king octopus, the Tacoma Narrows king octopus, and it's this octopus that's supposedly like 20 or 30 or 40 feet across, depending on who you talk about. And it's just a giant octopus monster that lives under the bridge, and every once in a while it comes out and people cite it, and like that'll be a thing. It's not super commonly cited, but that's one that's local to me. There's also, I hadn't heard about it until I started researching for this episode, but there's also stories all over the Pacific Northwest of tree octopuses,
Of
just like
course.
octopuses that live in the trees. Watch out
I mean,
while
to be
you're out
fair,
hiking around.
if any creature could do that, it's an octopus. Like, I'm
It
actually
would be an
shocked
octopus.
now that you said that
Well,
out loud that like they
mhm.
have not evolved to do that. Because like
Yeah, of course.
octopuses, they fucking rock. They're like
They
one of my
do.
favorite animals. They're one of
Yep.
my favorite creatures on the earth. They'll do whatever.
Yeah.
They don't care.
They're amazing.
They're
Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know of any local cryptids in your area? I looked up a couple just in case you didn't know.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, I live in Los Angeles. A
Do you want
really
me to tell a
fun.
couple and we can come back
Yeah, you
around?
say one and then I'll say one because
Okay,
I'm trying to
okay,
think of
all
a
right,
joke
okay.
here.
So there's the Lake Elsinore Elsie, which is
Mm-hmm.
basically just Nessie, but in Lake Elsinore, which is like 90 miles, what, 50? I don't know. It's dozens of miles inland from like the LA area.
What I love about the Loch Ness monster in
Uh,
general is
yeah.
that like it's the most easily like proven wrong one. It's
Right. Yeah.
one lake, it's one
Uh,
area, it's one very small area that you can
yeah.
very easily like we have the
Uh-huh.
ability to just check it and it's
Yeah.
not there and you can
Right.
prove it immediately.
Hmm.
And people are
And
like, "No, no, no, this is my life."
it's totally there. Totally there. It's a giant plesiosaur or a giant serpent creature, something that breathes air. Would
Yes.
have to breathe air if it were real, but like we just never see it, even though
You would
there's
see
literally
it
no other way out.
every day. You would have to see it. It would have to come
Yeah.
out literally
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably like most of the time it would be at the surface and visible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, there's
Yeah.
apparently enough food in there for a giant creature to live, and the
Right.
food
Yeah.
replenishes itself to the point where
Uh-huh.
that creature wouldn't just starve to death.
Yeah, but just one of them. Just one
Just
of them.
one,
Not a
yes.
whole family, not a whole herd, just one of them. And it because it's a dinosaur, because it's a plesiosaur, not a dinosaur, because it's a plesiosaur is survived since for millions of years. Just one
Yes.
creature.
And
It's millions of years old, hidden the
I
whole
was,
time.
yes, of course, and it's just been there. It just sustains.
Yeah.
It's a
Mhm.
self-sustaining thing.
Yeah.
It lives on the joy you feel from knowing it's there.
Right.
It's like in movies when like a subterranean fissure opens up and then ancient creatures come out of it, and it's like
Yeah.
maybe, but like I think those creatures are actually not capable of surviving up here now. I feel
Yeah.
like if those giant monsters came out from inside the earth, they would like
Mhm.
die because
Wither
they
and
don't.
die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever they were doing that kept them alive in there probably doesn't work super well outside.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. So there's also an Idlewild Bigfoot. If you've ever been out to Idlewild, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
It's beautiful. I think they call him Wiley, but
yeah.
there's an Idlewild Bigfoot. I saw photos of him. It's basically Bigfoot, but with like a hippie style flower tucked behind his ear. So he must be like a friendly Bigfoot.
That's I mean
Yeah.
that's just acid. That's just acid. That's drugs. I'm not even mad
Yeah.
at anybody. You saw a dude who was hairy who was walking around naked, and you're like, "Holy shit, a
Yeah.
yeti!" I did actually. I
Yeah.
remembered one of the cryptids that I have heard about in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
which is an actor who posts their audition footage on their Instagram and is
Yeah.
successful. That's like that one is very.
Yeah.
That's a big
That one is
one.
a missing person. That's
Yeah,
that's definitely you never see it in the wild.
you'll
Only like
never
great
see it in the
video
wild.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. A person who we get a lot of like people who are very spiritual and also very successful. A lot of these are success based in Los Angeles. A lot of the cryptids are like people are doing
That's the
well
real.
financially. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because that just doesn't exist except for in fantasy worlds.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Men who can't get into a relationship because they're focusing on their career, and their career is actually a real career and not entrepreneur or influencer.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's another one too in the local area. The Fresno Nightcrawlers. Have you ever heard of those?
No, it
That one's kind of like
sounds
an age of the internet cryptid.
yeah. That sounds like the name of like a youth sports team
Uh-huh.
that on like a TV show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't even sound like
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah, that one also is like a grainy video one. That one is funny because it basically comes from like security video footage of people's houses from the Fresno area like leaking online. And there was basically one video of somebody who got low, poor quality video of something walking past their security camera at night and didn't really pick up what it was. But it looks kind of weird and moves kind of strange. And then that video ended up getting put online in kind of a degraded version of itself. So not even the original quality of the video.
Yeah.
You should go look up the video if you haven't seen it because it is kind of weird and freaky when you first see it. But then for anybody that wants to go look up the video, pause at this point and then go watch it and then come back and then I'll tell you what they came to the conclusion of in their coverage of it. They said that it was just somebody walking at night carrying a grocery bag and
Mm-hmm.
it's just poor quality video. And once they mention that and you watch the video back, you just can't unsee it. It just doesn't look like a weird freaky night creature anymore that has
Yeah.
like legs and no body. It just looks like somebody walking at night carrying like a plastic shopping bag.
Yeah.
And it
I
just your brain immediately clicks into like, oh yeah, of course that's what it is.
that I don't know if it's specifically considered evolutionary psychology, but that sort of stuff makes me think of like evolutionary psychology because like
Uh-huh.
our natural instinct was
Yeah.
not like the reasonable thought. It was like this is a monster and we should probably kill it. Just to
Right.
be
Yeah.
safe, it makes me uncomfortable, so I'm just gonna
Uh-huh.
assume it's dangerous and a
Yeah.
monster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's pareidolia is what it
Yeah,
is. It's exactly that. It's just your brain sees something and it doesn't know what it is, so it just kind of like confabulates whatever makes the most sense. And apparently
yeah,
to our brains with no context, that looks like a creature that is all legs and
yeah,
moves weird and has no torso and arms.
yeah,
And it looks crazy and freaky. But then once you're actually told what it is, then your brain immediately clicks into interpreting it the right way. It's called prompting in psychology. You
yeah,
prompt somebody that like, oh, this is what it actually is, and then your brain just kind of like clicks into it. And it's like, oh yeah, of course that's what it is. And then
yeah,
you like can't see it. You can't. It's hard to like go back and like see it the way that it was before. So it's all just like it's your brain just misinterpreting what it is. It's exactly the same thing.
yep,
So so there's that. So that's cryptozoology. So there's very little like legitimate work. Most of what's happening is just like weird conspiracy theories and like people doing weird confirmation bias based work,
hmm
if you can even call it that in most cases. And a lot of it is just like tall tales that are getting spread. So that's cryptozoology.